This whole thing about the Pro Bowl and not making it, I mean, it is mind-blowing to me, man. What's up with that? What do you think about not making it?
I feel like people can't handle greatness, man. DPOY, I need that. That need to be me. I need that. They could do all that with the Pro Bowl and stuff, but DPOY, I feel like, man, I deserve that for sure. The Pro Bowl, man, I feel like, man, I feel like they just hating on me, man. I got a couple teams out there that don't like me. It's a couple teams out there that don't like me.
Welcome in to the NFL Spotlight Show. It is the Tuesday, January 14 edition. I am your host, Ari Meirov. Wild Card Weekend is officially in the books. We are on to the Divisional Round, which will kick off on Saturday. Texans and Chiefs first, and then we have the Commanders and the Lions in the nightcap on Saturday. And it's a Tuesday. We have a special spotlight guest over here, and we will be joined by a member of those Detroit Lions. We will be joined by their safety, Kerby Joseph, who led the NFL with 9 interceptions this year. Some way, somehow, was not a Pro Bowler, but he is a very, very important part of that Lions powerhouse. And this is a man who is not afraid to speak his mind, as you will see in our conversation here in a few seconds. We're going to go straight to the interview right now. We'll talk about some other NFL things on the back end. But here is my full, very entertaining spotlight discussion with Kerby Joseph. It might be the best one we've done over here on the Spotlight series. Here it is. Joining us today here on NFL Spotlight, he is a former third-round pick, has turned out to be one of the very best safeties in the NFL. He led the league with 9 interceptions this season. From the Detroit Lions, it is Kerby Joseph. Kerby, thanks so much for doing this. How's everything going here on your bye week?
Man, I just want to say, man, thanks for having me. Appreciate y'all for having me on here, man. All glory to God, man. I'm just appreciate y'all for having me on here. For my bye week, man, I'm just chilling, man. I'm relaxing, man. I just wanted to sit back and vibe, and take care of my body for real.
Yeah, it's crazy, for a team to have 14 wins and still take it all the way down to week 18, not knowing if you're going to have a bye, start on the road. It's a crazy thing, but you guys took care of business, and it's very well deserving. And this is the NFL Spotlight Show. We love spotlighting people who deserve more recognition, Kerby, and we talk about their journeys in their career. But before I do the entire journey part of all of this, I got to ask you, because you're so deserving of being on here. You're one of the best teams in the NFL. You're one of the best players in the NFL this past year. I'm sure you've been asked a lot about it, but this whole thing about the Pro Bowl and not making it, I mean, it is mind-blowing to me, man. What's up with that? What do you think about not making it?
Man, to be honest, man, I feel like, man, it's just like, I feel like people can't handle greatness, man. People can't handle greatness, man. Honestly, bro. Because, I mean, if you look at it, man, like I have every deserving right to be in that Pro Bowl, but man, they did it how they did it, and I wasn't in there.
It's crazy to me. I mean, listen, I think
Oh, for
at the
sure,
end of the
crazy.
day,
It doesn't make no sense, but I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad that it happened, man, because it shows y'all what the Pro Bowl really is. Like that don't make no sense for me not to be in there. I'm the league leading I'm leading the league in interceptions. Like I should be in there, but the fact that I'm not in there, that says something about the Pro Bowl.
well, let me ask you just, what do you think are some of the driving factors as to why you were not in it? And hey, we still have this defensive player of the year that's up there as well.
Oh yeah, facts. Hey, DPOY, I need that. That need to be me. I need that. They could do all that with the Pro Bowl and stuff, but DPOY, I feel like, man, I deserve that for sure. I feel like, man, I done came in clutch for my team many times. You know what I'm saying? Like I done made plays that nobody really making plays like nobody really making plays like how I'm making plays out there. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the Pro Bowl, man. I feel like, man, I feel like they just hating on me, man. I got a couple teams out there that don't like me. It's a couple teams out there that don't like me, a couple fan bases that don't like me or whatever. But it's cool. But y'all know what's up with me. Y'all know y'all can't mess with Zoop.
Well, the Pro Bowl has long been looked at as a thing where it's more of a popularity contest, but the real people know how well you've played. And if anything, I think it's giving you even more spotlight on the fact that you did not make it this year. But I think you guys as a team, you guys don't even care about the Pro Bowl. You guys have some bigger goals over there about getting to New Orleans and the Super Bowl. But let's talk a little bit about your entire journey and everything, because it's a really unique one and a very cool one. Like, you grew up in Orlando, you played as a standout cornerback receiver at Jones High School. You then went to Illinois. You were a starter in your junior season. You were named All Big Ten by your senior year. But before all of that happened, Kerby, you were just Rosemary's son, the youngest of 7 kids. Your mom, she worked multiple jobs to support you and your siblings. Let me just ask you about her. How important was your mother in shaping who you are today and pushing you towards becoming this NFL superstar?
Man, honestly, man, I love my mom so much. Like without her, man, I wouldn't be able to do none of this. Like we wouldn't be nowhere. Like you said, like she raised all 7 of us by herself. Like she had a little help from her friends and whatnot, but mainly like she had to get up every morning and go to the job she went to just to provide for us. I remember when she tells me the story all the time. Like when I was born, like when I came home, there were no lights in the house. Like there were no lights in the house. So I wasn't even able to stay in my own house as a newborn. Like I was at I was at her friend's house, like taking care of me and stuff like that. So ever since like I was growing up, I always see my mom working hard. Like sometimes it'd be days where like I'll be at school and I come home and I'll like sleep the whole day where I wouldn't even see my mom because my mom's coming home late from work. You know what I'm saying? So just shout out to her. Like she taught me really like how to find a way. As long as you got God on your side, you trust in God, you abide by Him, and you have faith in Him, man, you find a way. You do what you got to do. He'll help you out. Like you do what you do to help yourself. He'll help you. He'll look out for you, and he'll have you in His favor. I know it wasn't easy for her. So like just watching it, just growing up, like I know we didn't have money. Like that's not something I needed to ask my mom why we didn't have money or something. Like I knew we didn't have money, so like I wasn't trying to do anything to cost us like losing more money. I wasn't trying to do nothing like that. I just wanted to like ever since I was a kid, I just wanted to take care of my family, because that's family was really all I had growing up. Like I was always surrounded by family. Like I have a big family, like I love that. So like I just always wanted to be able to take care of them. And another thing I loved was just playing football, And I found out like man, I heard football players make a lot of money. so like, so it's like I know for a fact I could be really great at that. You know what I'm saying? So it came time where it was time for me to play little league, like pop on the football and stuff like that. My mom actually didn't want me to play. She didn't want me to get hurt or nothing like that. But I found a way. I found a way to get on the team. You know what I'm saying, and start playing football. And I started getting better and better at it. And I just felt like, man, I told myself one day, man, my mama wouldn't have to work no more.
It's such a cool story. And you ended up playing football. I know she didn't want it, but you were not right away a cornerback. How did you end up landing on corner? I know you played some receiver. How did that all happen where you landed as being a defensive back?
Honestly, so this is how the story about cornerback started. This is how the story about cornerback started. In high school, I played receiver. I played receiver. I played receiver and safety and nickel. I was always rotating around. My freshman year when I was with my coach, I played corner. So this is how this all this is how this all started. So I played all around. I was really doing all around. I was always moving around, especially nickel too, because I ended up playing nickel a little bit nickel my senior year. Um, but no, my junior year. But yeah, that just came in, and when I got an offer from Illinois, like they saw me as a ball hawk. Like they saw me going to get the ball up in the air. So when I got admitted into Illinois, I think they admitted me as a corner. But when I got to Illinois, I was like, "There's no way I'm playing corner. Like I'm playing safety, because that's where I felt like that was the best
Right.
opportunity for me to get the ball." So I played safety and I played receiver when I was in college, and I was going off on both sides. Like I was really like, Travis Hunter before Travis Hunter like was really popping, but like I never really got that shine on the offensive side. And it took me a while to really get a hang of the things on the defensive side. But I was always able to catch the ball. I was always able to go get the ball. I would high point at the highest point. Like it was never an issue for me to catch the ball. Like I feel like for me, like yeah, I used to work on my hands and stuff like that, but now it's more like of a mindset thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I envision me like every time I see the ball in the air, it's like, oh yeah, that's mine. Like it ain't nothing else in my thought process, but oh yeah, that's mine.
It's interesting because you play for the Lions. We'll continue the journey for a second, but I just think about the fact that you have a really good team, a really good offensive coordinator who loves doing trick plays. Have you ever went up to him and said, "Hey, let me get an offense for a play. Let's
Man,
draw
every
some game."
time I be telling him, every time, every time to this day, I'm telling him, bro, like, damn, bro, like, bruh, it's 40 to nothing right now, bro. Put me in. I just want to do a little hitch route or something. Like, just put me in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know for a fact that if I get on that offensive side of the ball, I can make something shake for sure. Like, they put me out there, I'm like, for sure, y'all better guard me because I ain't I'm coming with it.
I'll tell you, I'm not ruling it out. I mean, Ben Johnson, he's somebody who's very creative. You never know when it could come up. But let's go back over here to just your college journey. You end up declaring for the draft. You were selected 97th overall by this Lions team. You were the ninth safety off the board. First of all, what were your expectations going into that draft? Where did you think you would go? What round? Were you shocked about 97th overall? What was that entire process like?
Man, honestly, I'm gonna take it back really from back to college, cause college, man, really, man, I thought I was gonna be an All American. I feel like I should have been an All American. Like my senior year, man, I was the number one DB in the nation. Like I was the highest graded DB in the nation. Like I had the most turnover. I think I had the most turnovers, or the second most interceptions. Like well, I was balling back in college, and I thought I was gonna be an All American. So like my agent really telling me like I was such a wild card in the draft that I could have went from like first round all the way from like fifth round. Well, not my agent, but agents were telling me like I go from first round all the way down to fifth round. And I was like, that's basically like the whole draft. Like I need to narrow it down some. You know what I'm saying? But I really went in with the mindset after that year because I had a pretty historic year. My senior year coming out of college, man, I'm really like you know what? I'm gonna take the humble approach, and I don't really care where I go, what round I go, where I'm like where I get my foot in at. Like as long as I get my foot through that door, I'm gonna make sure my name is known in this league. You know what I'm saying? And like through that night, I remember like I kind of knew I wasn't going first round because it was so like random. You know what I'm saying? Now I don't feel like people was gonna take chances on me in my first round, but second round. I probably could have went second round. You know, like who'd have known? But it came like on draft night. Boom, second round's going. Okay, we through the second round. You know, I'm like, all right, man. Like, I didn't make the second round, so like, it's cool. I'm not tripping. Like, I'm just gonna stay here. I'm looking at my fam. You know, I got the kids running around. They running out. I keep telling them get out the camera. I got the news people in my house, stuff like that. So they just all looking at me. Like it's really like all eyes on me. You know, like and then, like I said, man, the news was there, so they live feeding it. Everybody's just staring at me. So like I'm really like in my head. I'm like, damn, man, what if I don't get drafted? Because like during that draft, it was a whole bunch of people that said that like that were said to like go top picks and didn't go top picks. You know what I'm saying? And they're still waiting to draft for me. And I'm just like, man, like you know, it's my first time in the draft. I don't really know what's going on. It was a lot of emotion, like just like anxiety and worry. Like I looked at my agent over there, he's sweating over there. he over here, he over here sweating. He on his phone trying to do his stuff and stuff. But man, I'm just like, man, I'm gonna keep my cool. They got the camera on me. I'm gonna keep it cool. So, so like, I'm like, man. So like, it just keep going like picks, and it's getting to the end of the third round. And I see that they're like before me, like you said, like, I was like the nice safety. So they're taking safeties. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of good. That's kind of bad, kind of good because they're taking safeties, but like. I'm not getting picked, but I mean, there's not a lot of safeties left. You know what I'm saying? So it's coming down to the wire, and like, man, I just stopped looking at the TV. I stopped looking at all that, man. I just closed my eyes. I really closed my eyes, man. And I prayed. I said a prayer between me and God. I'm keep between me and God, and like, really, man. I just as soon as I looked up, I seen my phone ring and it said Detroit, Michigan. I said no. I'm telling you, like my phone was just completely black. Like it wasn't even on. Like it was in my hand, but it wasn't even on. Man, I looked up after I done prayer and said amen. I looked up and boom, it popped up. 313 Detroit, Michigan. Man, I picked up, man. I said, wow. Like I have like this is like a dream come true. Like really, like I always seen this on TV and the movies and stuff like that. But the fact that this is actually happening to me, you know, like I didn't have the best life growing up. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like that really like was like the best moment of my life as of yet. You know what I'm saying? As of yet, you know what I'm saying? Like I have never had nothing like that ever happen. And I'm just so thankful to God. Like I'm so thankful that like that just meant everything for me to experience that. And like honestly, man, like I was just so happy. Like I was just overfilled with joy. Like especially like me being there with my family. Like everybody's happy that I'm happy, and I'm happy that they happy. So like everybody's happy. Like everybody's turning up. Like, and that was amazing too, because my nephew was there. And he wants to be in the NFL too. So that's just big. That's a big moment for him to always remember.
Well, you mentioned your family, the kids, the nephew, the news. Your pick was announced by Barry Sanders. What was it like seeing one of the greatest ever announcing your pick next to all those people around you?
Yeah, yeah, that was big. That was big because on the phone they didn't tell me who was going to announce it. So we watching it on TV and like, oh, like that's Barry Sanders. So that's big. I mean, one of the greats done announced my pick. Y'all should have known I was going to be great in this league. Y'all should have knew what time it was. Y'all should have knew what time it was when I was coming. I was really coming with it. Like, man, Barry Sanders just announced me. Okay, I'm finna come in here and I'm finna show out. Like,
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that rookie year because you right away you basically become a starter very early on, and your rookie year you guys start 1-6, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is the same old Lions once again." Then everything flips. What the heck happened? Where all of a sudden you guys start winning, and of course you've never looked back ever since.
honestly, I really feel like, yeah, man, I got my first game starting. It took me a while to really get the hang of things, you know what I'm saying? But once I got the hang of the things, I was like, ew, it's only up from here, you know? Like I'm not looking back. Like you said, I'm not looking back. We started out 1-6, but that's cool. I heard we got a long season. I heard we got a long season. So like we just kept on going, man. And I feel like, man, Dan Campbell, bro, he just kept motivating us, bro. Like that's my first time really seeing a head coach that really like a very like it's a big inspiration to a team. So like I just started trusting in him and abiding by what he's saying and what he's preaching. And really like I feel like everybody around me was really doing that too. Not only me, but the whole locker room. So I feel like, man, we was just all buying into what he's saying. Cause bro, every time he says something, bro, it's just like, man, bro, like we coming with it. You know what I'm saying? And what he was preaching, we just had to keep getting better. I feel like man, when I started playing, I started understanding like how defense is supposed to work together, how DBs are supposed to work together, how the DB is supposed to work with the linebackers, how the defense is supposed to work together as a whole. Understanding the bigger picture, what AG is preaching, understanding stuff like that. Because I came from Illinois, we didn't really have this big old defensive scheme, but in the NFL, it's always big defensive schemes and game plans and stuff like that. Understanding what the offense is trying to do, so understanding stuff like that, I feel like that allowed us to start winning a lot more games, playing better defense on the back end.
You mentioned your defensive coordinator there, who you've been there with the entire time, Aaron Glenn. He's a former DB himself. Everyone around the league wants him to become a head coach right now. What has been your relationship with him, and what makes him so special in your entire development here in the NFL?
Man, I appreciate AG so much, man. I really feel like he really like put the final pieces in and made me who I am today. I learned so much from AG, not only on football standpoint, bro, like off the field, real life stuff. I feel like, man, AG, man, like honestly, I don't know what everybody sees in AG. Like, he can stay. He's not really all that. Like, he can stay on.
You don't want him to leave, huh?
I don't want him to leave. I don't want him to leave at all. But feel like, man, AG, man, like he's another guy that's like a motivator, an inspirational speaker. Like, man, like the way he fires us up to go play defense, like, man, like you see the mentality we put out there on the field. That philosophy, that defensive philosophy we put out there on TV, that what we showing to everybody on TV while we're playing on the game, that's him. I feel like when AG preaches about defense, he preaches about how he was as a player, and he installs it in us. You know what I'm saying? Like he illustrates that with like the pregame speeches, the game plans, and the unit meetings and stuff like that. He's always into it.
You mentioned your game early on about your interception and everything. You entered the league right away. You hit the ground running. You had 4 interceptions your rookie year, another 4 in year 2, and of course you had 9 this past year. That's 17 in your first 3 years. That's the most in the NFL. What do you attribute like your ability to not only get your hands on the ball but also secure those turnovers? Because is it preparation? Is it vision? Is it instincts? Is it everything? Like where did all this come from for you? Where you are truly, I would say, the best ball hawk in the NFL.
Yeah, you're right. I am the best ball hawk in the NFL. But number one thing, the reason why I'm able to do this is because of God. I couldn't do none of this without God. Second, it's the preparation. The preparation I put in week in and week out. I'm always studying film. I'm always watching the quarterbacks. I always understanding what the game plan is, how offenses try to attack our defense, and knowing where the ball is. You know what I'm saying? Because the quarterback is the main person with the ball in his hand, and that's like my opposer. I feel like everybody has an opposer on this field. Like the corners cover the receivers, and like the safety cover the tight end, the strong safety covers the tight end, but the free safety, I'm the quarterback of the defense, and the quarterback is the quarterback for the offense. So that is my opposer. So I'm studying him because that's the person I need to watch, and that's the person that's going to take me to the ball. So understanding his motives, what he likes to do with the football, where he likes to go in certain concepts, understanding concepts because I play receiver, so I understand concepts. I'm not, you know what I'm saying. I understand how offenses try to get the ball open, like QB reads and understanding stuff like that. And also, man, like I be going around the facility. I'm always asking JG like, oh, what's your read on this? Like, why you did this? Or saying why you did this route? What's your leverage on this? Like, why I'm always trying to understand football. I love this game, so I'm gonna understand the ins and out of this game. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going for nothing less and nothing that, because I want to be great in this league, and I am finna be great in this league, and I don't care their narrative, what's going around the league. They don't want to make me in the Pro Bowl. Man, you cannot deny my numbers. My numbers speak for itself, bro. My numbers
You
speak
led
for
the
itself.
league. Led the league in interceptions. You were a 91.9 PFF grade and coverage grade, which was tops in the NFL this year. And not only that, you are one of the best tackling DBs in the NFL. You only had 5 missed tackles this season. I want to ask you, because football is so physical and sometimes that leads to injuries, and defenders can unfairly get labeled as dirty in the NFL. Do you feel like you're a bit misunderstood as a tackler because you are such a sure tackler in the NFL, and then some people are taking it the wrong way with you?
To be honest, I don't really care about nobody's opinion for real. I'm gonna tackle how I tackle. I'm gonna get him down how I get him down. Cause the moment I hesitate, the moment I get a second guess myself, that's when I miss out on a play, and that's when I get ran over. That's when I get hurt. You know what I'm saying? This is football. When you sign up to play this game, when you signed up for injuries, injuries happen. Like we had injuries all throughout this year. You know what I'm saying? And it's be the same people that's hating on my tackles to be the hypocrites. I don't seen people that's talking about my tackle go low on the hands and other stuff like that. Even when I get the ball in my hand, like I think like you look at my last interception, bro. I don't got tackled low. You know what I'm saying? Like that's part of the game, tackling. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the only dirty tackle, what is not really a dirty tackle, but the tackle that the league banned is the hip drop tackle. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that. I still, you know what I'm saying? It's whatever. I feel like a tackle is a tackle, but I haven't gotten in trouble for no hip drop tackle or nothing like that. And I really feel like, man, the people that's just complaining about dirty hits, bro, they just soft, bro. And they don't know football. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I really feel like I got that narrative because old boy want to come and talk crazy on because he mic'd up and stuff like that. Like, I really feel like, man, that ain't nothing, bro. Because first off, if you seen it all on film, why you threw the ball across the middle? I own that part of the field, so don't come across the middle. If you don't want to get hurt, don't catch the ball.
Let me ask you, when your head coach came out in support of you, Dan Campbell, when all this narrative was building up, what did that mean to you when he came out in public in support of you and said what he did?
Man, that's big. That's big because that shows me that he has my back. Like he got my back. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have his back on the field, and I'm gonna do my job, be where I'm supposed to be, and be a pro. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, man, I really feel like Dan Campbell, man, he's a player's coach, and he really means that. And he really trusts us. You know what I'm saying? He believes in us, and I feel like that's why we believe in him so much, and it just goes hand in hand. And it's like when you really trust somebody, that you trust that they're gonna be here at this spot or make this play or like have your back at this certain moment when times are rough. I feel like, man, you're unbeatable.
Now, I want to ask you about your other safety in your team, Brian Branch, because you guys have your running backs with Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery. They have this really cool nickname of Sonic and Knuckles. Where could we get a nickname for Brian Branch and Kerby Joseph? Do we have anything coming up over there? Because you guys are, in my mind, the best safety duo in the NFL.
Man, it ain't only in your mind, man. We are the best safety duo in the NFL, man. If you look at it, man, nobody else is doing what we doing in the league, bro. Like nobody is doing what we doing, man. And I don't know what it is. Maybe because we on the Lions and they got a narrative or whatever it is, bro. But nobody is better than me and BB. Like we coming out there every Sunday to make a play. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, bro, they had some like smash and grab, but I ain't like that. No,
That's not it, man. That's
we
not
call
it.
ourselves. We call our. I'm Superman and he Batman. He don't do much talking. He just get straight down to business. You know what I'm saying? he don't do too much talking. Hey, BB right there, that's a certified hitter. Like, and me, I'm Superman. My superpower is taking the ball away. So that's what we call ourselves, Superman and Batman for real. But yeah.
We
Nobody,
need to get
nobody,
a.
nobody, nobody's doing what we doing in this league, especially like with me. Like nobody's catching interceptions how I'm catching the interceptions. You can look at my interceptions, the times I'm doing them. It might be to seal the game or put the offensive position to win the game. Like nobody's doing what I'm doing.
No, there isn't. And, I'm thinking about just Brian also. He's another player who slipped in the draft when people thought he could go in the first round, slipped all the way into the second round. I mean, you guys have been the best safety duo in the NFL this year, and it's been really impressive to watch. Let me ask you just about your head coach one more time, because there's this video that comes out every week after you guys win where the entire locker room is always together. Every player, after getting a game ball, basically says, I appreciate this group so much. Where does the whole togetherness of this team come from? Where all of you truly love each other, are brothers. And I'm telling you right now, Kerby, I know the entire league, all 32 teams. Nobody has what you guys has when it comes to brotherhood.
It's the culture, man. It's the culture, man. Hey, this organization has been built up from nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like the narrative around this team, man, I feel like that's what really brought us together. You know what I'm saying? Nobody liked us but us. Nobody believed in us but us. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that we're doing so great is like we already knew what this could be. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just now starting to see it.
It's unbelievable. And we're, of course, recording this here during your bye week. We have, obviously, you'll be at home for that divisional round game and the conference championship game as well. Let me just ask you about the environment at Ford Field there. I love that hat, man. It's it's
Yeah,
it's
me too.
awesome
You
on you.
see it? Look, I
Fits
can
you
wear it
well,
like
man. It
this.
fits you
I
well.
can wear it like that. I can wear it like this too. You know what I'm saying? Like.
There could be many more hats on the way as well there. But let me ask you about just the environment you're expecting at Ford Field for that divisional round game. Obviously, you saw what it was last year for the two games. That Week 18 game, it was insane versus the Vikings. What do you expect it to be once the playoffs start over there? How loud does it get, and how does it feel to be at home when the crowd is rocking like that?
Man, it's gonna be so loud. It's gonna be so loud, man. It's gonna be also filled with love, man. It's gonna be filled with love and support. Cause one thing that I know about One Pride, man, they're gonna come out and they're gonna show out. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to One Pride. Hey, I appreciate the support and love. Y'all keep coming out here, man, cause it look like the offenses from the other team, they can't handle it. They can't handle how loud it be, man. So y'all come over here and just keep doing your thing.
Let me one more thing here before I get to the final question to ask everybody. Have you ever thought about what it would be like to have a parade in Detroit? I mean, those fans have been waiting for it for a long time. If this team wins it, you guys become true legends and nobody will forget about you in the history of Detroit whenever you retire, whatever it is. Have you ever thought about that in your head of what
Oh,
that could be
definitely.
like?
Definitely, definitely, definitely. We talk about it all the time, man. Hey, I even talk about it with myself, man. Like, cause that's what I want to do. I want to be great. I want to make history. I want to be a legend. I want to be able to leave a legacy here. Like, I want to be able to put on a gold jacket and say I came from Detroit. Like, I started when we was down. We like this. I didn't come when we were already at the top. I came when we were low. We were down at the bottom, and we just kept on going, kept on going, kept on going, and kept on going. And now we got a Super Bowl. Parades coming in. Now I'm putting on a gold jacket. Like, I just feel like that's just everything. You know what I'm saying? I like coming from the dirt. You know what I'm saying? I like coming from the bottom. Like, I love coming from the bottom all the way to the top. Like, that's just who I am. I love it because it feels better. You know, it always feels better when you earn it. You know what I'm saying? And hey, I know the city gonna love it too. With that parade, that's gonna be a big. I don't care how cold it is. I'm outside. I don't care how cold it is. I'm outside, man. I got the biggest coat on though. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I'm outside, bro. I'm outside.
hmm We mentioned last thing here. We mentioned your upbringing in the beginning. You saw last off season, Jared and Amon Ra, and we saw Panay, and we saw during the year Aleem, all these guys getting extended. What did it mean to you to see your team extending all these guys who've been there, done that? Some of these guys who were drafted, and you become eligible here in the offseason. Just how cool is it to see the organization reward the guys in the organization and see that all happen last offseason?
I feel like that's big, you know what I'm saying, especially for the guys, because that's a big turning point in their life. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's a huge milestone. I feel like they always say like your second contract is your biggest contract. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to witness them get their, you know what I'm saying, get that opportunity, get that blessing for them and their family, like that's just big because I feel like that's what we all work hard for. You know what I'm saying? Like just to get there because I feel like in the NFL, man, a lot of people don't get that chance. You know what I'm saying? Like they say the NFL stands for not for long. You know what I'm saying? So the guys that are able to stay here and grind those years and years out there to actually get that second contract, I feel like that's just huge. And it's also big for me, like just being able to see here and witness it. You know what I'm saying? Like understanding what it means to be a pro because last 2 years, like I was coming into the league, what I'm saying, this is only my third year, so just being able to witness stuff like that, get the experience, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's definitely big time. And again, what you guys have going there with the organization, it's a special place from top to bottom, and you are lucky to be there with all of the people there. All right, last question. I asked this to every single guest. This has been amazing so far, Kirby. It's the NFL Spotlight Show. We love spotlighting people in this league who deserve more recognition. It could be a player, a coach, an executive, whoever you want. Who do you believe deserves to be in this seat here in the future?
You talking about on the show?
On the show, somebody underrated, somebody underappreciated, somebody who deserves more attention here in this league.
Mm, man, put my dog Brian Branch on there, man.
I love
Get
it.
BB
I
on
love
him,
it.
man. Get BB on him, man. I feel like, man, they ain't really appreciate him. Like I told y'all, like he gonna show y'all why y'all messed up by letting him slip to the second round. And ever since he's been here, man, he's been making plays. Like, bro, that's my brother, bro. Like, put him on here. I feel like he's underrated. I feel like both of us really underrated. That's
Mhm.
why y'all gonna have both of us on here.
We had to get both of you on here as a duo, but we're going to work on getting Brian as well. He has been super underrated throughout his career so far. A short career, but he's been one of the best along with you there on the back end of the Detroit Lions defense. Kirby, thank you so much for coming on. You are amazing. You're one of the best safeties in this league. I think you would say you are the best safety in the league, but thank you for spotlighting your career, continued success, and best of luck these next few weeks. It's going to be special. Take it all in and enjoy every second of it.
Man, appreciate y'all for having me, man.
Special thanks to Lions safety Kerby Joseph for being our special spotlight guest this week. And I said it before the interview started, probably one of the better spotlight interviews that we've done over here, where somebody was as open as it gets with every question that I asked him. So it was really good to have Kerby on here. He's had a sensational year. He's an all pro, of course, that happened on Friday. We interviewed this a few days before that. So very well deserved for him to be on the first team all pro team as a safety and somebody who will become eligible for a contract extension this offseason. The safety market has been resetting quite a bit over here over the years. I do believe Kerby wants to be at the very top, especially after the season that he just had. But he and the Lions have bigger things to think about right now. They will have the divisional round starting on Saturday versus Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. That will be step one as they try to get to the Super Bowl, but it will not be an easy matchup. But like you heard Kerby Joseph say, he expects the Ford Field environment to be very, very loud, and that will be coming up over here on Saturday night. So special thanks again to Kerby Joseph for joining us here on the show.